We're back.
Okay, before we go any further, Ryan was going on something beautiful and my stupidity, my technological stupidity, because I ain't making enough room on this thing. Cut her off. So my apologies to you, my apologies to Trini, and my apologies to all our viewers, to all you who are checking us out and who are commenting. We appreciate you as a group. At Travel 3 appreciate you more than you know. We appreciate our viewers and support. And as one of the hosts, my sincerest apologies. Technology has kicked my behind. I'm gonna fight back though. All right.
It's been rocking.
Hey, look. We was like, she was on something great, and we're gonna get right back to it. But again, my deepest and sincerest apologies. Ryan, get your shine back on.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Hughes, like
Doctor.
I was saying, Dr. Hughes, he used to give me this nickname WBOC because I used to always tell him all the scoop was going on in the school. I told him who was dating who broke up with who's gonna fight who, and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, he called me WBOC, and he still calls me WBOC to this day. And guess what, Mr. Hughes? I'm on live talking about business. Aren't you proud of me?
Hey, that's dope.
And then I want to touch on Mrs. Hooper too. Remember Miss Hooper, the music teacher, short lady, had the bob. She was she was in charge of the choir. The choir.
Yeah.
I never had Miss Hooper either. I guess because I can't sing. But my locker was across from her room, and I would always like mess with her. Always, because she was like a couple inches taller than me. So I would always say stuff to her like, I'm going to meet you in the back of the Y and beat you up. And she would always say, well, let's go. After school, I'm going to meet you in the back of that Y. But Miss Hooper was a beautiful, wonderful lady. And shout out to Miss Hooper. I hope all is well with you. And whoever you know, I hope sees this so you can see this little shout out. Mm-hmm. And then I also want to touch on PASS. Me and Trini was in an after-school program called PASS. Don't ask me what it stands for because I don't really remember.
That was for the light. That was for I don't want to say like I don't want to say like
trouble kids.
Like we wasn't like trouble, but it was something, either something like tragic happened or. It was some kind of reason that we got into that because
it was fresh out of elementary
school. Yeah, because I remember the reason I went because my aunt had passed, and that was like devastating for me. So they kind of like, hey, we're gonna start up this PASS thing, and you should join up with it. So that's how I got into it. And then
I don't even know how I got into it. I really don't. Yeah. But I'm glad that I got into it.
Yeah.
We had.
It was all black too, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had no white people in there. Straight up black kids. I had white teachers.
Yeah.
But straight up black kids.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Kellum.
Yes, and I think he passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty old heart can't take that little. We talking about teachers dying.
I think so. I think somebody told me. Who told me? No. It wasn't him.
Like WBOC, no.
It wasn't him. It was the white guy with the hair who was in charge of it. Yeah, it was him.
He died.
Yeah.
Yingling died.
But I want to say Kellum died too.
You guys be killing people.
Hey, she ready to get canceled for throwing out a fake death sources.
I want to say they both died. I don't know. But we had Javonda Bowser was one of our mentors.
Yeah.
Shout out to JB.
Yeah.
She knew everybody's family, and we called her JB too. We gave her that nickname. She knew everybody's family in PASS, and you better get some act right in you. Because JB was allowed to not play with that ass. She pulled me up a couple of times, and she was like, you know better, Ryan. I was like, yeah, but because in middle school, I kind of showed off. And she was like, you know better. Do you want me to call your mother? And I was like, no. She's like, well, I'm going to handle it, and I want you to come in this after school program the next day with a better attitude. And, you know, I came back with a better attitude and probably went back to my normal self. Like, she had to stay on me a lot, but I know it was just love.
Yeah.
And I never was upset with her. I respected her for that because
You knew it was out of love.
yeah,
It
it was no hate.
and it wasn't no like demeaning, like yelling at you.
Right.
It was just like
it was that
get your
stern,
act right.
It was that stern
Yeah.
voice. She had to raise her voice, but she was like all in my face and going like this. So I got the message. And then we had Miss Bryce. Miss Bryce is a member. She's a
Man.
faithful watcher. Shout out to you, Miss Bryce.
Yeah.
You was another one that stayed on us, and you are another one. The reason why we are who we are today.
Absolutely, yeah. Ms. Bryce, I love you. That's all I can say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and you are a
like-
faithful watcher, Miss Bryce.
beautiful person.
And thank you for supporting us, and thank you for doing for everything you done for us in the middle school. You were a part of our what is it called? Not tribe, but
Community.
community.
Family
And-
pack.
Mhm.
Yeah, all that.
All that, yeah.
Wrapped into one.
That's
So thank you so much, Miss Bryce.
Absolutely.
anybody missing?
You, Mr. Bell, you
Yeah, yeah, I'm about to- yeah.
Mr. Bell.
Doctor.
Dr. Bell. Dr. Bell. Okay, Dr. Bell. But did he come to us in middle school or high school? I
middle, I believe.
Yeah,
He came with Hughes, right?
because
I thought so.
he was still in middle school when I was there, so,
Thought so.
then he went to high school for a little bit.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I know y'all probably heard, but when Mr. Bell came to school, all the girls, he was like the Morris Chestnut
Chill out.
to us. No, y'all gotta
No,
admit,
no.
he could dress,
He's smooth,
and
brother.
he
He
was
is smooth.
easy on the eyes. But he would check
I never
me.
heard. Yo, I must have been missing it. I
Yeah.
never heard this.
Hey,
No, because he was
you heard
fresh.
it?
He was fresh.
I knew about
he
it.
hit the scene. He first hit the scene. So we had the first set of eyes on him.
Alright. Oh, okay,
Basically,
okay.
you know, like freshman.
Oh, y'all
we
hot
had
in the
first
pants.
Yeah.
we had first dibs on Mr. Bell.
Oh,
He wasn't no parts of none of
Hey.
y'all little thirsty girls.
He must have been on news when I got there because he was just, hey, what's up, Mr. Bell? How you doing?
Nah, I definitely remember that. I remember
And he
that.
was a cool dude, and
Yeah.
he stayed on you too, though.
I never had too many like interactions with him or anything, but it was always cool. It was always cool.
He knew my mom, so I remember. I got in an incident in school. What happened? I'm gonna tell this story later. Remember to get back to the middle school story. We're gonna have our conference on racist incidents in our school. We'll go back and talk about that. So we're gonna do that later. I got a couple stories I need to throw out there. I'm sure they got stories. We're gonna go back to that. But Dr. James Bell, yeah, you were a cool dude. He was a cool dude. He wasn't a teacher. He was like the vice principal, some section. I think it was mine. And before he went over to high school, and you made sure I didn't get too much trouble. One time I got into trouble, you made sure I got through that. So I appreciate you. He did a lot for a lot of young brothers who were struggling in school. So it was really cool to see that. Shout out to him and like I said, Dr. Tolbert. Did y'all miss anybody?
Well, high school we had. I know everybody had the Miss Wilson experience, the Black Guidance Counselor at high school.
I know she is. I know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Miss Vicky Wilson. Yeah. She was
Remember,
nice.
I don't know if she did this for your class, but remember how she would take us on college trips, and we went to HBCUs, and she had nobody but black people on
Yeah.
that bus. She made sure if you wasn't going to a HBCU, you experienced it a little bit just for that field trip.
Right.
Yeah,
So shout out to Miss
Wilson,
Vicky
yeah.
Wilson.
Absolutely.
You are another one that we appreciate and respect, and I hope you are a member because I sent you an invite. Please accept Miss Wilson.
Miss Wilson. I still see her. Yeah. But like, as y'all were sharing y'all stories, I was just thinking about how, especially on was it Dr.
Yeah.
Hughes.
Dr. Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about how important that thing is. You never realize how important it is in the moment. But if you ever want to question how important representation is, you caught our first part. At the end, you saw how emotional Ron was.
I know.
If you-
I told
if
y'all I
you-
was going to get emotional.
If you ever have to question how important representation is to young black people, young black youth, any youth of any kind, whether you're Hispanic or Asian or any other, Native American, whatever, any person or minority I miss, that was a perfect example. The most legitimate example was one Ryan gave you because she got so emotional. And Ron and Trinity got emotional to these wasn't the crying type, but but no. Trinity was just like he slowed down. He just started talking.
Yeah, I mean that's I love that dude. I love that dude.
Dr. Hughes, I never had you, but salute to you, my brother.
And I touched on it when the feed went down, but
my bad.
We were.
That's why she's in charge. My bad.
We were talking about, me and Ryan were talking about how if he wasn't there in middle school, it would have been like, who knows what. Mm-hmm. And I touched on it where between him and my basketball coach Dale Green, I don't even want to like relegate him.
Shout out Cousin Green, Cousin Dale. I don't know why I said that. Cousin Dale. That's my mom was saying. Yeah. Shout out to you, cousin.
I don't even want to relegate him to basketball coach because he was and is so much more, man. Like, first came across him because he was married to my cousin, and I was little and he was always around, and me and my other cousin were used to play basketball. Quintel used to play basketball over to the house all the time, and so met him because Quintel was like, "Man, you should come ball for the Y," because he was at the Y at the time. I was like, "Yeah, I'll come out there." So didn't know what I was getting into, but just got a lifelong mentor that man just looked after all of us, even the ones that like. The kids that went down, rough paths and all that. But, he was always there, giving that fatherly figure to a lot of the black kids that didn't have, either didn't have a dad or the dad was, in jail or what he said. But he was always there. And even me, somebody that had my dad, still has my dad, he was important because I don't know why it happens this way, but it's something where like your parents can tell you something 1,000,000,000 times and you won't listen, but if somebody outside of them says it, you get it. So he was that second father figure to me. Whatever he said, it was like gold. I would come home like, "Hey man, Dale said this." My dad be like, "I already told you that." So like, eventually it was just like, yeah, all right. If as far as like my dad, it was like, all right, if he's with Dale, he's straight. He's getting the life lessons and all the attention and all that he needs to get. So I got so much of that, just from age 7 until still going, still on the text. We don't talk as much as we used to, but every holiday or whatever, or anything that comes up, see him. It's love, man. So I don't know if Green is even gonna see this, but he knows that I love him, and I just want to say that you are one of the most important people, most impactful people in my life, and I love you.
You ever think we take our parents for granted though? Cause they keep
we absolutely
like come on, goodness, we have shout out to all three of our parents, all sets of our parents. All right, his parents, my parents, and her parents. I mean, shout out to our parents because you see how we turned out. We trying to do big things out here. We trying to have a positive impact on the community. Shout out to y'all because y'all are underappreciated and we couldn't give y'all enough credit if we tried. Because it really, like you said, y'all be telling. I know my mom used to tell me the same old stuff that as soon as another person said it. All right, cool. Your mom, that lady said the same thing you said. I know, boy. That's why I be telling you all this. Yeah. Okay, my bad.
That's how my son is, man. I be telling man, one of his uncles or somebody, y'all get him. Yeah. Tell him, whatever, and it's gold from that point. Yeah. So I'm just like,
next time I see him, I would tell him.
Yeah. Dad told me. But yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, being a parent, you kind of have to be like. You kind of have to allow that because you can't have that ego where it's like, no, I'm going to tell them everything because it's not going to work.
It takes a village.
Really? That's why we
understand. And that's the word I was looking for earlier. I was like, what is that?
It's the village.
It's the village.
So as long as you get it from somewhere, I don't care. I love it. So, we definitely take our parents for granted like that. because I know, always loved my dad, but I didn't see or understand what my dad was always doing and sacrificing and everything till I got older.
Right.
And when I got my son, I had actually wrote him a letter, and because I couldn't just tell him like,
Right.
I'll be crying and stuff, you know what I mean? Me crying, but my pops, he's that much. He means that much to me. I had to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a letter, and I said, "Hey, open this when I leave." So like, because we don't do all that. We just do a little dap and roll out, But I checked with my mom later, and she was like, "Yeah, he cried off of that." So I want him. He'll never see this. I don't know. He might see it because my mom watches. So I try to keep my customers.
My mom saw it, and she ain't on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, she did see it?
Yeah.
And so, Mom, if you see this, play this part for Dad and tell him that he is the greatest role model that I could ever have, the greatest father, barring none. I'll stamp it. My dad is the best. So I love you. And even to this day, like right now, you watch my son allowing me to do this. You know what I mean? So
it's funny you say that about your son, because not to cut you off. No. Off topic. Trini's an amazing dad. We know that Trini's amazing. Because Trini spent last week saying talking about whether he thinks he's doing a good job with bad stuff, or bad job with his son at certain times, at certain moments. I'm like, that's like the perfect son of a parent. When you're always thinking about how you're doing, how your kid's doing, that's a great parent, because that's how parents think. That's how I think, well, is he all right? Is he doing all right? Am I doing okay with him? That's how real parents think.
Yeah.
I'm
trying, man.
He's doing an amazing job.
I go back and forth. Like I said, I feel like I said it on here before. Like, one moment I'm like, man, I'm killing this, and then the next moment I'm like, man, I'm ruining this kid.
That's how parents,
That's how parents probably think.
Yeah.
And you're never ever gonna be with you're never gonna get everything. We were talking about that off air.
Yep. Off there.
Where you like you want to make sure that they do this and
this. Right.
And I was like, yeah, okay, you can do all that, but it's still gonna be something that they want to do.
Right.
Yeah. Everything is because what you want is what you want, and what the kid wants is what the kid wants, and we don't really know what the kid wants until
they're real vocal.
Yeah, even then, like you still don't know what the kid wants.
You're gonna change their mind.
Yeah.
It's funny we're talking about parents, because before we move on to the next session I want to talk about, do you have anybody else you want to add?
I just want to shout out to Mr. Hunter. We forgot to mention you, but you were also a big impact.
You were a cool teacher, man.
In high school too.
You were.
I never really formally met him or anything, but I remember being jealous because he was with his parent.
Yeah.
I was like, man, come on, like.
How you for?
Don't
you remember him when he worked at Green Turtle, right? Remember he was the bartender?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he used to be tired. He used to be tired of school. Oh, honey, you worked last night? Yeah, man. Yeah, you worked late. You was tired, man. Yeah, nah. He was a cool teacher. He left my senior year, and he was like the only male black teacher. I think Mr. Holmes was there. He was kind of in like his second or third year. I forgot how long he had been there at the time. Shout out Mr. Holmes too, but I never had him. But he light skinned dude.
That's my cousin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His dad is my dad's older brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The family's disjointed.
Okay.
You know he lives down there.
Does he? Oh, yeah. No.
Well, what did I say that online?
Look.
I don't know what I
Take that last part out, okay? Okay, y'all didn't hear that from a man.
We live.
We never
I
said
forgot. No, I don't know where that man lives.
Yeah. Shout him out. Shout out Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter was a cool dude. He was like, they were really cool.
And a fun fact about Mr. Hunter, my godparents are his aunt and uncles. And I did not know that until like not a couple years later.
Who's your godparents?
Ray and Ellen, Holland.
Got her godparents.
I was getting ready to say Heyman, that's why. Holland, they live in DC though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's fun. Like I said, we got everybody covered. If you missed any black teachers, we apologize. We're not perfect. We're still, I think I hear everybody, but I'm a go ahead.
Miss Stewart, you remember Miss Stewart?
Miss Stewart.
Yeah, she was real cool with Hughes. She was short, dark skinned.
Oh, the special needs
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah, Miss
Oh,
Stewart.
yes, Miss
Shout out Miss Stewart.
Miss Stewart.
She used to call me WBOC too.
Yeah, she was funny, man. She was funny.
Yeah, she was.
She was cool though.
She was.
I'm sorry, y'all get everybody.
What's on Miss Beard? Miss Beard. Oh,
Yeah, Miss Bear.
Miss Beard.
Yeah, Miss Bear, shout out Miss Bear. We just gonna shout you out. Trent, hey.
They shouting you
Yeah,
out. I
yeah.
ain't shouting you out.
Look,
Miss
we ain't looking for no beef today, all right? We might have a smooth transition.
Is Miss Beard or Miss Bear?
Miss Baird, I think.
Miss
Miss
Baird.
It don't even matter.
Look, here you go.
I'm shouting you out,
I'm
but
shouting you
you
out,
know
too.
we bumped heads a couple of times. But I'm shouting you out because you knew my mom, and you always be like, "You want me to call Tanya? You want me to call Tanya?" and all that kind of crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I respect you, but you ain't have to
I ain't had no issue with you.
try to threaten me by saying you're gonna call my mom and all that kind of stuff. I'm in high school. What you doing calling my mother for?
No, because my thing was somebody did something in the lunchroom. They like threw something at her. You remember this? And it rolled around in her. She had like a hat on, and it rolled. It's like an orange or something, so it rolled around. And so like everybody laughing and everything. Then she picked me out when she cussed at me.
She did used to cuss.
Like who the F you talking to? You know what I mean? Like so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
So now you got me hot. So you know you cuss at me. It's forget you forever.
Miss Beard, I hope you see this.
Yeah, you still got Trini in his feelings a little bit.
Oh man.
And Trini don't get his feelings. Trini don't get his feelings. He gets feelings a little bit.
I want her to see this so bad.
I'm 15 all over again, man.
If y'all know Miss Beard, whatever.
Yeah, tell her to cheat
Run
on me
this
an
clip.
apology. And I want that.
And he went, look, because he don't get his feelings. I never, he got his feelings over that one.
Got me hot there.
I was trying to say, I'm sorry, y'all. This is my bad. I should let it go. I should just move on. That's my bad.
Oh
Cuss me out.
See, that's why we put Ryan in charge. That's the mature one, all right?
And I'm laughing my ass off.
Oh, my goodness. My bad. Again, my bad. I'm just throwing this off the game today.
Man, if I knew that story was going to go like that, I would never have brought her.
You forgot about it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I ain't forget about it. Mm-mm.
Oh, Lord.
And it wasn't me. Like, you know.
Why she gonna
She
kiss
just picked
you?
me out. I
I don't know either, bro.
Was you laughing?
Of course I
Look. He was laughing the hardest. You see how Trinity
It was like I think because it was proximity, because like it happened right there, and she turned around and I'm like right there, you know what I mean? But I don't know who threw it, but it was like an orange or something. It rolled like
I do remember that.
Right.
Y'all want to shout out Tripline?
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Hold on. No, actually, I was gonna get to that. The next section. That's goes to our next section.
Go ahead.
We shout out every teacher we had. Now, because like you said, what was the way direct and indirect? Because I've been doing it off all week.
Yeah.
Formal and informal.
Formal, informal. We
I
shout
touched
out
on a little bit.
Yeah. We shout out all our formal teachers. Now I want to take this time and opportunity to shout out informal, positive role models and teachers on us that we had growing up. So the first teachers we usually have are who?
Parents.
Yep.
So shout out to all our parents for everything we learned as far as history period, not just Black history but world history. Because my mom,
And life
lessons, like even to this day, my mom is teaching me stuff. Yeah,
we
you
still
never stop
learning.
learning.
You never stop learning.
I remember when I was in the second grade, my mom told me about Columbus Day. The very next year, third grade year, we celebrated Columbus Day. And my mom and I was like, I remember asking, I said, how do you, Columbus didn't discover America? What do you mean? Well, if he discovered America, there wouldn't be people here. I remember, and the teacher just didn't say anything. And I remember home, and I said, Mom, the teacher didn't say anything when I said that. And she said, because you were right. I was like, yo, my mom.
Lucky you didn't get put out.
Oh, man, no.
Right.
I thought about it, but no, like, she took it. I remember she took it very well. She just kind of quiet for a
What
second.
grade you say you were
Like
in?
third or fourth,
That's
yeah.
why they didn't put him out now. He was in middle school. Out of
Yeah,
there.
like third grade. Because I remember my mom was like, honey, what does discover mean? It means you find something, honey. All right, now you find something. How you going to find something when something already been found? Yo, little me was like, I was like, yeah, you right, bro. I was shorter than I was like, you right, bro. But yeah, I was like, I mean, my mom was blown by this simple concept, like, yeah, you can't discuss something that's already found. So I remember I asked the teacher about it the next year. When I didn't ask the teacher the whole year till the next Columbus Day. I remember asking, I gave her the answer. So shout out to my mom, or shout out to all the Black history that I got growing up from her. So like you said, our first teachers are our parents, but we also had many Black leaders in our community at the schools who gave us positive feedback, who pushed us along the way, like they were saying about Dr. Hughes. It was people who weren't teachers, who were in the school system or not in the school system that we knew, that helped educate us and saw something in us so that we could turn out to be pretty decent adults. Let's take the time to shout them out. And I think he already said one. Trip line. Let's start with Trip line. You can start. You brought him up.
Trip, you were the security guard, but you were more than a security
By
guard.
far.
You were every child, not just Black.
No,
Every
child.
child in high school's father,
Mm-hmm.
not mother, uncle,
Right.
big brother,
Yep.
cousin, godfather, whatever anybody was lacking in high school, Trip, you was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that one time I had cramps so bad. I know it's TMI, but I always was trying to go home, and I would always say to him, my stomach hurt, can you take me home? Because everybody knew where I lived at the time. And he was like, no, why don't you stick, because he used to call me too tall. And why don't you stick it out too tall? He said, I'll tell you what, I'll let you take a nap in my car, and when this period is over, I'll come get you and wake you up so you can go back to class. Trip Line took me in his car in the parking lot, and I slept for a whole hour, and when I woke up, I felt better. Shout out to you, Trip, because I know you probably wasn't supposed to do that,
Not at
but
all.
you did it anyway, and
Literally.
you didn't care. You came back for me.
Yeah, he was
Good thing he's not working no more.
I
Cause
know,
my
right? That's what I was saying all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, he's
He retired,
Yeah, you retired.
Shout out to Trip
If
Line.
he wasn't, he was about to be.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she just throwing out this incriminating evidence, and we look at you like, yeah, he done. But he already is done. So
You know, you probably wouldn't care. You
He
probably,
wouldn't-
yeah,
no.
I did it.
No,
Yeah, he
and that was my thing with Trip Line. Like I said, I'm gonna say some more. I'm not gonna name no names. But I'm gonna say some more incriminating evidence. So good that you retired, Trip Line. I remember this isn't anything personally, because I didn't do too many bad things. I remember he used to stay on me and be like, you a smart young man, stay on the path, stay on the path. I said, he was real cool, real hip. He was real cool. He said, what's up, man? And I remember the couple instances where kids were doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. I remember Trip Line made sure that them kids didn't get in trouble. He took care of it, so they didn't do it again. But he didn't, they didn't get suspended. And it was that kind of stuff that I was like, yo.
I was about to touch on that
definitely
too.
took care of
Yo,
a
he
lot
took
of
care of
things.
it, and it was like a lot of kids, and I shout out to him. And Mr. Wild, he's a white guy. He did a couple times too. This is after our time, because he came with us from the middle school into the high school. So y'all would been gone.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. He was next on this. You next on this. But Trip Line, he took care of some things. And I know he did. I'm not gonna say that what he did and who he took care of, but
I ain't gonna say nothing either.
he made sure some kids got to the finish line that had no business getting there. And shout out to you, because I mean, if it was me, I don't know if some of them kids were worth it, but you saw they were, and some of them turned out pretty decent now because of you. So that kind of stuff, like he didn't put himself in certain positions that he really could have got hemmed up. He would have taken the fall for some of these kids, and that was, I
He
mean,
really would
I mean, that to me that was so important, because it was like, you can trust somebody.
If they put that,
Their job, everything, like
Yeah,
everything.
it's all for you.
Yeah, and he did it because we were kids. We were
Mhm.
stupid kids.
Mhm.
We were like, even when we were smart, even when you were intelligent, you were making dumb mistakes because you were what? A kid. So shout out to you, because you literally, I'm just saying this no other way, you had our backs. You made sure we got to the finish line, and a lot of us got to the finish line because of you. He brought him up. Cool. You next on the itinerary.
We all over the place, but yeah, that was a smooth dude, man.
Coop was cool.
He was like Barry White.
Yeah, you know what? He kind of was.
He was like Barry White.
The voice,
Yeah.
the way he walked and everything.
He was cool. So he was like Trip before Trip.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
I got
Not to that level, but
Yeah,
like
nah.
He was major.
Yeah.
I got in a fight in middle school, and he told the vice principal, Oh yeah, they were just slapboxing. We was duking out. But he told the best principal. We was playing. I said, yo, because if I go home and tell him I was fighting, I appreciate it.
Coop knew everybody's family.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yo, like I have a nice little list. Like I said Mr. Tolbert. That was the crazy experience because a black guidance counselor.
Yeah.
That like we touched on it earlier, but I just sit back and think like, yo, my second guidance counselor was black. I don't even remember my elementary school guidance counselor. I remember my middle and high school. My high school one, nice white lady by the name of Miss Rain. Shout out you, Miss Rain. You are.
Oh yeah, Miss Moraine was.
Yo, she was she was an angel. Miss Moraine. Look, we're pro black and shit we're gonna talk, but I'm gonna shout you out. If you ever talk about the Allies,
love is love.
Love is love. I love the hell out of you. Our whole grade loved it. We graduated and went to college. A lot of us graduated and went to college or went out and found jobs, and did other things because of you. Shout you out, Miss Moraine.
See, I'm thinking about teacher crushes now, but I ain't.
There you go. There you go.
I want to shout out a janitor. I know he was gone when you got there, but remember Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, he always hung out, he was the janitor, but he always hung out there by the gym, and he was sweet. Tall guy, bald head, wore glasses. Angel Terry's grandfather? Well, anyway. Right.
You got an old memory.
Yeah, my memory's just trash.
Anyway, Mr. Brown was the truth. Like, he was not just, he was so the truth, like, you didn't even want Mr. Brown cleaning up after you.
Yeah.
You would be like, nah, Mr. Brown, I got it. And he like, no, this is my job.
Yeah.
Because remember?
Cool older cat. Yeah, with the gray. Yes.
He told us we were the best class and he was going to graduate with us.
Yeah.
And he retired. We graduated 2002. Mr. Brown, I think he retired that following year.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he can't take it no more. Mr. Brown, shout out to you.
You right.
You are much respected.
That's why you got your classmate here.
We did not want you cleaning up after us at
nothing,
all. You wasn't touching nothing.
Nah.
Mr.
Oh,
Brown.
no, I got it.
Uh-huh.
Nah.
And he was proud of doing it. And we was like, he was that much of an influence because he had conversation. He wasn't just somebody who cleaned up.
Right.
He was like, how are you today? You doing all right in school? How's your mom? How's your dad? It was like Mr. Brown was an older uncle, or a father or a grandfather. You know what I mean? Mr. Like I said, all I'm going to keep on saying is nobody wanted Mr. Brown cleaning up nothing
Right.
behind him. Mr. Brown, we got it. I'm getting paid for this. No, Mr. Brown, we got it. You ain't touching nothing. Don't you touch my tray.
Yeah, and that goes to just like more relief of anxiety when you go into school, because when you get up in the morning, it's like the only thing that was motivating me was like, all right, I get to see my friends. Well, start off the bus ride, because it's gonna be a long bus ride, I get to listen to my music. That would get me right. I would get to school, I see my people, and then if I had favorite teachers or whatever, and then like you said, you see this person, janitor, security, or whatever, and it's cool. You know what I mean? Like you look forward to seeing those people, and when
Make a bad day a good day.
Yeah, when you're in a situation where you don't have those extra people, that could just be a terrible experience.
And shout out to the secretaries.
Oh yeah.
Remember Miss Ayers?
Yeah. Yes.
Man, Miss Ayers, I'm going to say where she used to live. She used to live right there.
She retired her 9th grade year, right? After the 9th grade.
I think so.
Yeah.
Miss Ayers, she looked mean. She had that mean look.
Right.
But once you talked to her,
yeah, she was cool. And
she gave you food for the thought in the morning.
And I would go in there because, like you said, she looked mean. So I'm programmed to, like, if I see an older lady that look mean, I'm gonna go up to her because my grandma mean. So and I love my grandma. So it's like, it's I don't know. But like, if you look mean or whatever, I can get you. You know what I mean? Like you gonna love me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Clever Bear. Clever Bear look mean.
I almost slurred, man.
My babe.
No, but yeah,
like, we have another stoppage.
But no, it was cool. Those ones that look mean like that.
Right.
they might not even like you at first, but if you keep pestering them, they
They're
gonna
gonna end
eventually
up
love you.
liking you.
I be thinking that's what I do to people because I talk to
They
them.
gonna love you, man.
So we had Miss Ayers, we had Tia Sports Mom,
Yes.
Linda Wilson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Linda Wilson.
Yeah,
Right,
super
right.
cool, super cool.
And then we had, what was her name? I know her first name. Core, I think they called her Core or whatever. She was in there with Tia's mom. Fly, young, always had her hair cut short. I forget her last name, but she no longer works at the high school. But there was a couple of times where I skipped and you just waved and marked that attendance. I would look at you and be like, and you would go just like this right on back, saying, knowing daggone well I ain't coming back.
That's funny. I don't remember her.
You probably remember her if you see
If
her.
I see
She
her,
was
yeah.
tall. She dressed real nice. Tia's mom was like back here, and she was in a she was sitting where Miss Ayers used to sit.
I don't even remember now.
What about influences, positive black influences outside of the school, classroom and school? Like, who'd y'all have? Because I remember the first ones that came to mind for me were when I started working. You know, like, obviously your parents have friends,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, friends of your parents are, it's always cool to meet them. Like, shout out to all my parents' friends. I think my mom's best friend, Miss Naomi, shout out Miss Naomi. I think she bought some stuff home to college. So shout out to her. She's another intelligent black person. So she taught me a couple things. Shout out to my uncle. But when I started working at Acme, as a matter of fact, I had a few black women, a couple brothers that were educating me on, you know, like just on their experiences and, you know, how the world works and how their experience in customer service were. And I remember thinking, you know, yeah, I didn't just openly meet a lot of people like this
Yeah.
growing up, unless they were friends with my parents, and I thought that was pretty cool. Shout out to all my Acme kin, you know, love y'all. Who outside of the school did y'all have as a mentor or a teacher, somebody who just cared enough to give you a little knowledge and info on the world, and you know?
Yeah. Early on, I had a neighbor, and he was like, had to be in his 70s. Like I was like 6, 7, going over there, just like kicking it with him, and just getting game from him at that age.
All right.
Like, that was my best friend at that age. So like, if my parents didn't see me, they'd be like, oh, he must be over there, Mr. Ghost. That's what we called him, Mr. Ghost. So they were like, yeah, if he ain't home, then he must be over there with Ghost.
Yeah.
But like I
Cool
said,
name.
yeah, like I
Cool
said,
name.
we were all like, the whole road was like some kind of relative, like
Right.
so it's all like family. We were related some kind of way, but Mr. Ghost, so that was the starting point. He was super cool. He was the first funeral that I went to.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that was kind of wild. He had cancer, but he had this snake. It was like not a real snake, but it was like a cobra thing by the door. But I'm like 7, so I'm just like, so I run, yeah. But yeah, he had an impact on me. And then, like I said, Del Green,
Cool.
man, just
Yeah. No. That's what I want. That's the type of stuff that we need to know.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff we want to hear. About you, anybody like that?
Well, I also had a neighbor too. She was a retired superintendent
Mm-hmm.
of the school system.
wow.
And she lived, well, kind of beside us, but it was a house in between.
Mm-hmm.
And she took on my family way before I was born. Matter of fact, she kept my brother and my brother's dog when my mom went into labor with me.
Whoa.
So yeah, her name is Kathleen Francis, and she was like another Mr. Hughes
Mhm.
in a woman form.
Right.
And not still to this day, because she moved, but all from a child to a grown woman, I still would go visit her and hang out with her. She was so strict though, but she meant it. Like, you could walk in her house and you wouldn't speak. She would like, and what did you say?
Right.
Yeah,
Or
right.
like,
No.
excuse me,
The whole
are
values.
you speaking today?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And she
Yeah.
helped me a lot with my homework. You know, just being in her presence.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a young kid, even when we would talk, she was another person that would sit down and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And she never judged. She gave you advice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she helped with my homework. She babysit me and my brother for years. She even watched my dog.
Mm.
She was a dog lover,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
my dog loved her a lot. He would sneak out the house and go to her house. He would rap on her door, and she would open it up. And the next morning, we were like, "Where's Bandit at?" She called, "You looking for Bandit?" Like, she was the truth. So
Yeah,
you
nice.
know. And I want to
Love
shout
is
out.
love.
I want to shout out to Mr. Shields. Mr.
Yeah.
Shields. I never had her as a first grade teacher,
I didn't
but
either.
a lot of people had her.
Roundsy's mom.
And yep, and everybody loves Miss D. That's
Mhm.
what they call her now. I guess the kids can't say Mr. Shields now,
Yeah.
Right.
but they called her Miss D. Miss D, you were, and you are a huge impact in the Black community. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know, but you do know now. So shout out to you, Miss D. Everybody loves you.
I haven't seen her in forever, but she was beautiful. she was beautiful. And Roundsy, you see this? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It'd be your own
She's
people, man.
respectful.
Shout out to my cousin Pat. She's my babysitter growing up. She pretty much babysitted all of Dillbrook. Everybody kids was over there. All her kids, all her grandkids.
Mama Trisha.
Yeah, yo, Mama Pat,
Mama
cousin Pat. I
Trisha.
said, cousin Pat, what's up? I was,
Brittany's
yeah. She babysitted me and my brother like with nothing. Remember when my little cousins were born? She still babysat us, and you know she gave us a whole bunch of wisdom. Her kids would come over, like Harry and them, and then Dexter, I call her Mr. Fema. She's actually my cousin. They all come over, give us some knowledge and stuff. So
Yeah,
that was all pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely the mom of the.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
She had all the intel. You hear such? Oh yeah, you hip, come back. You so hip. I ain't even hip to you. I ain't even hip to that.
And she's still hip to this day.
Yes, she is. Yep.
I
Shout out to you, cousin.
seen her.
She moved. I think she lived with one of her sons. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to you. I wanted to get into that because we're all intelligent young Black people, but we didn't get educated properly in this Talbot County school system. And it's not just Talbot County. Most people in public school don't get properly educated in the realm of Black history when it comes to public education. So I want to ask y'all, why do y'all think that is? You smell water?
Mhm.
Oh, my bad. I have moments on live. I wanted to ask y'all, why y'all think that is? Why do y'all think that we never got the proper education that we should have gotten? I mean, we all know history is whatever. Whoever's in control, you can write history whatever the way you want to.
Yeah.
If something happens and one person's telling a story, you're only gonna get the perspective they want you to get. So I want to get y'all sides of that. What do y'all think? Who wants to lead the Trinity? Like some thoughts on it?
It's a few different things that I think about that because, on one hand, you know, the textbooks. Who's talking?
I don't know. Are people talking?
Yeah, people have been saying hi. I saw her earlier.
What's that right
D, it's cousin D. But no, like, the representation isn't there. Like we just went through, we named more Black people that weren't in teaching positions than that were, that, you know, had impact.
Absolutely.
And they were few and far between.
Very
So,
still.
if we don't have that kind of representations in the teaching, then those people that would be there that would tell them, hey, we need to alter this curriculum a little bit or something, you know. So that's not there, and the people that are overseeing it, superintendents or you know, what have you, of course they're going to keep the textbooks the same because it
They
lifts them up.
rarely look like us anyway.
You know, it lifts them up in the light. So of course our story isn't going to be told, and you know, our percentages are so low. You know, roughly 13% in the whole, you know, United States. But,
Right.
so I don't know what it is around here, but we're so
Even about 15%.
marginalized. You know, it's why would they, you know,
Hmm.
Right.
change it?
Any thoughts on it?
Well, I feel like they don't educate themselves enough to translate it. You know, like you said, you read these old textbooks, but it's beyond the textbooks.
Oh, agreed.
There's information about black people in history in general that nobody knows because it's not in the textbooks and nobody cares to extend it, go beyond that to learn more.
Right.
So my thing is, if you don't really know what you're talking about, don't teach that subject.
It's and
Oh, that's a very good point too.
that
Very good
goes to it because it's like when we get these textbooks and everything, we don't see anything in there that's about us or anything. That automatically kicks your self-esteem a little lower.
Right.
And then what we do learn, we were slaves and we were, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Black history started with slavery. Yeah.
like so all right, we're automatically even lower now, and that was the most uncomfortable situations. Like when you know going over slavery and this that and the third, and it might be 3 of us in the class,
And they look.
I'm getting hot under the collar because it's like these white people better not look at me. They better not turn around and look at me or
Giggle or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I'm ready.
I'm
Oh,
getting
some of
suspended.
them did snicker.
Yeah.
Some of them did snicker. I do remember some of them, snickering or whatever.
I'm like, I'm trying not to cuss on here.
All right.
My mama sees it.
No comment.
She know I ain't right though. But no, the self-esteem, unless you have that self-esteem boosters outside
Yes.
of the school, then you are just going to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
Or the ones in the school, like we alluded
Exactly.
to earlier, who are able to clarify this. We more than what they just say we are.
Yeah.
You know. Now, you made another good point about the percentages. So we already talked about the few teachers we had that were black. I want to get into situations that y'all may be able to allude to as to why we don't have more black teachers. For example, I'm gonna bring in Mr. Shelton Hawkins. Shout out to Mr. Shelton Hawkins. Hawk. He played on one of the best basketball teams Eastern High ever had. You know about that?
Eastern
Yep.
Warriors.
Eastern Warriors back in
98?
98, yeah. They
Yeah.
had Barney Belly, all of them. He went to prep school. He went to college, played basketball. He's traveled all over the world representing basketball. He's a very intelligent man.
Very
He
intelligent.
He applied to be a Talbot County teacher. I mean, I don't know what credentials you might need.
I think
be a
he
teacher,
had
but
all of the credentials.
I would say so, but I don't know too many people who beaten that. So do y'all think it's systematically in Talbot County as to why we don't have more black teachers, or speak your minds?
I mean,
Go ahead, Ron.
they want black educators. I do know that they
Right.
want them, but I think Shelton, they try to say he was too qualified. But what do you mean? Are you too qualified? That he should already get the job. You know what I mean? And then he graduated from Eastern
That's what I was
High.
about to say.
Yo,
So-
I
Alumni, like,
Right. He should be,
he should be
one
top of the list.
Exactly. And all the creativity he has, like, this guy is major.
He redid Idlewild Park.
Idlewild
He
Park,
helped with Moulton Park's redecoration.
Moulton Park, like, he is a huge asset to the community. And I feel like he would be a great role model. He could easily be another Mr. Bell, another Dr. Hughes, and that's what people in high school need anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And
They lost out. Shelton,
he
where you at now? Just stay there because you.
He's in Charles County. He lives in Easton. That's how
Right.
ridiculous it is.
He has to travel every day.
and he could easily connect with the kids because
Mhm.
he's still in tune with everything.
Mhm.
Fly, you know what I mean? Just like
Mhm.
it's crazy. And shout out to Lance.
Oh
Wilson,
yeah,
because,
Lance. Yo, shout out Lance. Y'all had a nice podcast
yeah.
with Sheldon.
So
Shout-
if
that was
you
awesome.
If you need his testimony, he did a podcast with Lance Wilson, the Real Sports Fan podcast.
We're gonna link up with them soon.
Yeah,
We'll pick
so,
a date.
So make sure you check that out. That was good.
Well, that's all clips. It was,
Yeah,
it was
no, it was
good.
2 hours and something. It was
really
worth
worth
it.
the
It was
watch.
worth it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Shout out to Contavious Jones. He's
This is Dre, brother.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's is he still at Macy's Lane?
I think so.
Yeah, so
I think he tried to come to Easton too.
alumni,
Oh.
like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Come on,
He had all
Easton,
the
yo.
credentials, you know what I mean?
And Dante,
Yes. And not only did he get turned down at Talbot County, he got turned down at St. Peter's and Paul's too.
That's crazy, man.
And that's another guy
Well,
who has
St.
all the credentials.
Not the I'm not gonna front. I wouldn't expect St. Peter Paul already got an ideology.
Yeah, I mean that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we know they ain't.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a resume and everything on that resume matches to what you're looking for,
Until they say race and this guy it has B instead of W.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not going.
It probably was his name, cause Dante.
Yeah.
You know.
They should be calling by his last name anyway. So
Henry.
Yeah, Mr. Henry. So it don't matter.
But it's crazy, man. Cause
I'm over them type of schools, man.
yeah.
But they
want
more
diversity.
black.
They said they want diversity. Yeah,
They want more black educators.
They say that
but
junk all the
then
time.
you
Big
had
service.
two perfect candidates, and you turned them down.
Yeah.
And I feel like both of them would have done wonders at Easton High. So
Yes.
Easton High, y'all lost out.
On two homegrown, I know Sheldon went all over the place, but homegrown talents. You know, they went to Easton, alumni. You know, I know Sheldon graduated from somewhere, but he still went to Easton. You know, like
that's what you should want.
Yeah.
Homegrown.
And see that goes to back to the conversation we had. I think on the first one, like as far as like policing. If you got the people in the community working in service for the community, they're gonna uplift it because they care about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want that.
You would think.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy.
I mean, look.
You want that.
Your teachers.
You would think so. Yeah.
No, they want that, but they looking for that. But at the same time, they don't want it.
It's crazy. Your teachers.
They want it.
Eastern
But
school.
it's who it is.
It should be. You should either be alumni from here or in this community because it's teachers that come from. They might drive from Delaware every day.
Mm-hmm.
And not that they're not good teachers, but
Right.
how can you be more qualified than somebody who's born or live in the community? You know the people.
And
When you live in the community, you know the people. When
You
you're
know
from
the
the
people,
community,
you know the school, because you came through that school.
You know their teachers. I mean their parents, uncles.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're invested. You're invested in these
Yep.
kids' futures because you know them, and if you let them down, then you got to answer to the people that you know.
Yep.
You know.
Exactly.
So if it's Shelton or whoever, if he were in position, he wouldn't let those people down.
No,
You're not going to let them down.
He would be another one that would push
The
them
extra mile.
to their best ability. And you know what, Shelton, I see your stories on Instagram, and you are pushing those students that you have.
Wherever you
you're
are,
doing
man,
it.
keep going.
Yes, and they're blessed to have you.
he's an art teacher, and he's so much more an art teacher than excuse me for just a moment, but he's an art teacher, but he's so much more an art teacher. So it's like, I don't know. That's the kind of impact you want. You want somebody who's a teacher, but not just a teacher. You want somebody who the kids are going to connect with, but still respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I look like that one. We had a good conversation the other day, and I was just thinking. I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't know too many more people who are qualified to be a Talbot County teacher. I seen some of the teachers they had, and I'm like, let's be honest. Like,
Some of those we had.
Hey, look. Again, shout out to some of the cool teachers I had, whether you were black or not. My favorite teacher, my favorite teacher is actually Miss Phelps. She's one of my favorite teachers of all time. Nice white lady in elementary school. Really nice lady. Shout out to her. And Miss Barang is like, she's like a go-to guidance counselor. She's like an angel. But when you talk about as far as being qualified to do a job, I can't think of too many more people that are more qualified than Sheldon. I mean, he got the resume, he got the world experience, the diversity. I mean, what more could you want from a teacher? But I'll say the next section. We'll see how if Ryan has anything when she gets back. She had to take a moment. We should get into experiences with racism in the school system. So I got a couple stories I'm gonna tell. I'm sure you got some you can tell. I hope a lot as far as our live is going. I hope you're all enjoying it. I see a few people commenting. Shout out to you all. Sorry we can't get back to you right now. We're actually out of reach a little bit. But and we're sorry about the pause earlier. That was all on me. Technology kicking my behind. Just want to apologize again to you. Our team leader's back and she's ready to rock. So did you have anything you want to add on anybody else? On any other teachers?
No, I think we touched on everybody.
Well, this has been a nice long show. We done went into a lot. So we're about to get into why you were going. We said we're going to allude to or focus on our experiences with racism in our school time. So if you had any experiences, if you saw any experiences, I can go first, so y'all can lead off however y'all want to do it. Anybody want to start off? Or?
Well, I don't really remember having an experience.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
If,
Okay, Trinity got one.
if I did, really, I was oblivious to it because I
Right.
ignored a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on purpose. So.
See, it was. I think it's probably a little different because like the girls, you know what I mean. But the boys, we in middle school, yeah, we used to go.
I remember my first dude, yeah.
We used to go. We used to go. We used to call them the race wars. We used to go in the. We used to go in the bathroom. I still remember the joint upstairs, and it would be like a scene from a movie. The white boys on one side, black dudes on the other side, just talking trash like, what's up? You know what I mean? And a lot of times nothing really popped off, but it was some stuff here and there. But that situation happened, and then in Tech Ed, Mr. Yarbrough,
Oh yeah.
in his class, it was it was a dude there. I don't even know what sparked it, but he called me a boy, and he said it in that kind of way. Man, I slapped him so hard, like I like open hands, just like slap, like he started crying. He started crying, and the teacher came back, and I couldn't deny it because my whole hand is on his
Yeah.
face is just red.
Good Lord.
So like, the teacher asked what happened.
Mhm.
I'm not just gonna. I fudged the truth a little bit. He was calling me boy in that way, but I told the teacher he called me.
That word.
You know what? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I say
sound better.
if I say he called me a boy, it's like, you are a boy, but like no, he meant it in that way. So I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what he really meant. Though.
Yeah,
so
right.
I got a little.
Or at least that's how
referral.
you felt it. It's like, and perception is everything.
Yeah, I know what it was.
You knew what he meant, yeah.
And so I got a little referral, but it was on a Friday, and it was like they ain't want to deal with it. So I was like,
You got lucky, huh?
Yeah, man. 'Cause if I got in trouble, I was coming back. I was gonna get him. Like I just went. You know what I mean? Check his temperature real quick. I still do that too. Well, I mean, I don't be fighting and stuff. But
Yeah.
if I feel like it, the most disrespectful thing a man can do is slap you.
Yeah. I ready to punch me.
Yeah,
Open
don't,
hands,
yeah,
slap
don't you
that
slap
down.
me, man, because that means you really think I'm
Oh,
mushy.
you low, yeah.
So, yeah, you punch me. So, if I ain't feeling your energy and I don't think you about nothing, I'm gonna slap you.
Thank God for
You know.
growth. That's all we gonna thank God for growth
Thank
training,
God
right?
for growth.
All right. I wasn't gonna say a teacher name no more because I was ready to say it to get mess with you. I was gonna say it, but thank. Oh,
I hope she's watching, man. I hope somebody shows
Growth.
her.
Oh,
Oh,
moving on.
I can't stand you.
I know, my bad, yo, my bad. I thought we boys. We do.
But that was funny, like,
Oh.
man.
I don't. If I see her, I wouldn't.
I'm going to make because we.
Yeah, keep going.
Where's
No, we gotta leave it alone because
Where do you find her?
we don't. We
Put her
don't.
on the show.
No, we don't.
No. She might think she running stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, oh,
no. You got
Oh Lord. I remember I alluded to earlier when I was in the 3rd grade. I remember the teacher just didn't like me. She didn't like me at all. And I remember I was always jumping up and down and sitting. I was a kid, and she used to act like my work wasn't done. Well, I used to be the first one to have all my work done. And I remember I was just sitting there bored, like, yo, when am I gonna get done? What else can we do? Yeah, anything else for me? She told my mom, the OG, triple OG, came up there and took care of it. My mom's not really a goon. I call it that. That's between us. Yeah, my mom came and took care of it, and she told the principal, "You get him out of that class." At the time, me and my brother were never in the same class. She said, "No, you get him out of that class." But we only had 2 3rd grade teachers, so of course I got switched to my brother's class. So shout out to Miss Klein. I had no issues in there. But me and my brother, we had a good time, same class. But yeah. And back then, I didn't know it, but now my mom was like, oh yeah, she's racist. I know her people. I know who she is. We know her from down the way. I was like, oh, I didn't know
Let
that.
somebody like that be a teacher.
I
Because you're teaching all types
But
of
you gotta
races.
think, like, it's not affecting them at the top.
yo, and that's a great point you make because
They don't care. They don't
it's
care.
something the issue just
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good for our kids.
Yo.
So
Yep.
that's all that matters.
the way you said that is perfect because just because something's not an issue to you doesn't mean it's not an issue. like racism. You said that you couldn't say any better. Just because like they're treating it like, well, it's not an issue to us, so it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
But just because something's not an issue to you personally, don't mean it's not an issue. But I also had a couple instances in middle school. We had one minor incident of racism in high school where I think somebody called a whole bunch of us the N word. I didn't hear it, but everybody said it was. But it was like a mini fight in the parking lot. I just wanted to watch because I wasn't down trying to get arrested. That was at a football game and the cops up there. I wasn't. Oh, no. I didn't hear him say it, so I can't say he said it. But I'm pretty sure he did because the way people were talking,
He probably
he
did.
probably did.
Probably, yeah.
You know, but in middle school, I remember in the 6th grade, there was me and another black guy and a young white lady, and I was sitting at my table and they were two were sitting at their table. Remember, they were arguing back and forth. I remember, I think I got back and forth with her, but we weren't arguing, we were just going back and forth about something. And I don't know what happened, but she went in the hallway with this black guy, came back in, and her lip was busted. And and you didn't see the finger, he just went. And I remember that's the first thing I was like, yo, what the heck happened? She told the teacher, and next thing you know,
He got suspended.
me and him pulled in the hallway. I was like, oh, all right. Little 6th grade me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't touch that freaking girl. I didn't punch no freaking girl. I don't know. I still to this day don't know if he punched her or not, but I told him to leave her alone. So I remember I went to the principal's office. They called her mom. You know, these mother freaking teachers didn't even call my parents. I said, yo, of course I called Mom Vincent. You know my mom came up there.
That's all right.
She's like, wait. So you gonna call her parents? You gonna try to spell or do
Yeah.
something to my kids and not call me? And it was Miss.
And they supposed to call
It was
you.
Miss Reese. It was Miss Reese. I forgot. It might be Miss Reese because we had Miss Reese and Miss Reese, but I think it was Miss Reese, that black lady. My mom snapped on her. My mom went triple OG
Miss
on her.
Reese knows better.
Yeah, she does. And thankfully, Mr. Bell, shout out Mr. Bell again. He was like, he chilled Miss Green. He's not gonna be expelled. All right. The teacher said, thank God for the substitute, Mr. Fax, who saw me sit at my desk and do what I was supposed to do. Shout out to Mr. Sachs. He said, nah, he didn't do anything. He was just sitting at the table. You know, I saw him talking about it, but he didn't go out. He didn't hit her. And he said he didn't see what happened to the other two, which is, I didn't see it either, so I can't comment on it. But I remember, Mr. Bell said, don't worry about it, you're cool. I remember thinking, Miss Reese just let the whole black race down. This is a black woman trying to get my behind suspended.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember I was so hot and so heated about it. And of course, the next year, me and her we had another mini incident. So 7th grade. Trini actually alluded to this earlier because that's why I like Trini. He said about the lockers. You know, your locker was right there. You didn't see no point. I had the same situation. I had my locker on one end, and my classroom, Ms. Ryson was a teacher. I had her on the other side of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I used to run. I used to get her right before the bell.
Right.
Yo, you dip in the hallway.
You didn't have enough time.
Yo, don't run.
You really did.
Don't run. I gotta get to class. So like I remember the security guards, Coop and we still had Mr. Wow. None of them after the first week they ain't bothered me. They knew I was going to class. You know, huh?
I said, who in the
yeah.
world is Mr. Wow?
He came with us, so yeah, he came with us. But yeah, I remember this is a white guy. Yeah. They wouldn't bother me at the first week. I said, yo, I'm going to class. I swear, I'm just running class.
Right.
All right. So every day I was on time. So me, my boy Mike, we had classes together, all classes together in 7th grade. We run every day from one side to the other, never late, never the whole time, never late. You know. So of course, one time I think we spent 2 minutes after in one of our classes. They said, "Oh shit, we gotta get to class, bro. Come on." So we pushing it, we rushing, we running, you know, and the hallway's full of students. So you trying to duck around students.
Yeah.
You know, we splitting kids and stuff, all kinds of stuff. But so we're pushing it, and the bell rings, and we're right behind these 2 other young girls who just happen to be white. So we lay just as the bell rings, Miss Rice is at the door, and we're like this close, like they're coming in right behind them. You mean don't tell me why this teacher let these damn 2 white girls in and didn't let me and Mike in?
Right.
Yo, when I tell you I was ready to snap, and I was like, what you mean? I was like, what you mean?
Right.
He said, hold on here for a minute. So I'm like, what do you mean hold on here for a minute? So Mr. Reese came out of nowhere, wanted to talk to me and my boy Mike in this office, right? In this office was one little white child and all black kids. All these other kids were late every day. Of course, none of them were making the fucking, you know, we were all. And I will say, I was late today, but I was late once, but I was late that day. And, well, late to her class. I'm going to say that, late to her class. And I remember thinking, why are we in here? this Miss Reese went on to get on every single one of us about being late, except for this white kid. She said, "You're doing a lot better, and I'm proud of you."
What?
And again, like I said, I'm not trying to attack people who can't defend themselves because a wise person gave me advice.
Wait, what?
But I'm just speaking on experiences that I had. So I remember thinking, I said, "Yo, what?" And I said, "Yo, this teacher told me I was late, had me come here with all these other kids who are late. I came in here, I'm late once. Mike is late once. We're late one time.
All she had to do was give you a late.
That's all she had, or just let us slide like you did the two girls in front of us. We were right behind them."
Yeah, because we all been there with the, you know, I'm looking right at you, you looking at me, and you shut the door.
And you shut the door.
If I'm in your sight, you should be able to, like,
All right, come on.
Well, my issue was like, I'm fine with it. You want to give me a phone, have it. But them two girls in front of us were after the belt,
right,
too.
they need to be with
and here with us.
Either we inside or they outside. With
Yeah,
Right,
like
right,
that
right.
was my thing. I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I was late once. Like, she can check the record. I'm not failing her class. I'm doing. I think I had a B in there. I said, I don't know the issue. Maybe." And that was one time I actually felt like it was racist.
Yeah.
Now it could have been that, you know, my bad.
You good?
It could have been a day where I just.
Or just a smart ass.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be racist.
Combination of both.
Might have been both, or it might have just my bad luck that day. I don't know, but I remember I felt I was like, "Yo, I know she just didn't cut." She might have let two other students get away with it who weren't white, but I'm just saying that time of that day, I felt like, "Yo, she did not just let the two white girls in, not me and Mike." And we were rushing. We got a little bit flutter for you. You rushing, like, we rushing to get
You got
here.
all them books in your, like,
Mm-hmm.
I was busting your backpack because you got so many books.
Because you can't stop at your
That's
locker.
right.
And I remember telling Miss Reese, I said, "Miss Reese, y'all know y'all put our schedule together. You put us on one. You put our classes on one side, and then you give us a class on the other side of school. How do you think we're supposed to get there in 4 or 5 minutes?
Right.
Especially the teacher holds you over.
Yeah.
You know, so those are a couple experiences I had.
I had one that, you know, in hindsight it was because the teacher, like, this was 9th grade and I had cornrows, so like,
Roll training.
you know, every now and then I would take like different ones. Either I would take like one side out or take every other one out.
Yeah, I remember
So one day I had it like that, and I was sleeping. I'm one of these classes I'm sleeping in at some point. So I was asleep in the one class that got over, and I was going into my Spanish class. So I walked through the door. My hair is crazy, and my eyes are red because I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in there, and immediately she said, "Go to the office."
You thought you was high or something?
Thought I was high.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, for real? Like,
Once you go into the office,
I'm like, what did I do? Just go to the office. So I go to the office. I'm like, I have no clue why I'm here. I'm like,
Right.
and
I
you
didn't-
never got in trouble.
never had trouble. I didn't smoke, didn't
Yeah.
drink, none of that.
You know what's hilarious about that? He didn't get in trouble for sleeping.
Exactly.
You're right. You got
Man,
it.
it's been plenty of times. Like, I remember I was late one time because
Right.
I had fell asleep. And she let me sleep. I'm like, yo, you let me miss my bus. Like, I don't live like close. So now somebody got to come and get me like 2 hours later. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, just let me sleep.
Hey, shout out to Miss Wallace and Miss Moore. Miss Moore was like a science teacher. I remember I was late a couple times. They were just like, "All right, come on in." Like,
They can see
yo,
you.
they
see
see
coming.
me. And Miss Wallace and Miss Moore, they knew like, yo, your locker's on the other side of school. Oh, that's fine. Well, like, you know, don't be 10 minutes late. But it's like if I was like a minute late, my bad. You know, like that was cool.
You only got like 3 minutes to
You
change
had
from one
3 minutes.
from one class to another, and then on top of that, like we said, you got to go to your locker to switch out
Your
books
books?
and all that type of stuff.
So that's
cut us
like
some
150
slack.
getting to the locker, and
And don't forget your combination.
Yeah. and who knows if you can even get there because it's jam packed. Everybody getting out.
See,
Mhm.
and you may be getting books for more than one class. Well, I
Yeah.
got math and English. They're right next to each other, so I might as well go ahead and get my
Those
books
two,
with all them books too.
yeah.
So it's like all this stuff going on, and if you got a question for your teacher, well, maybe I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this after class? You ain't got time to ask me. You ain't got time to ask me. You got to run across the school.
And
So,
the teachers knew that. They were just being smart.
Yep.
They knew.
yeah. So that teacher and Miss Reese, they might have just been getting smart today. It might not have been a racial issue. Might have just been my bad luck and wrong person, wrong place, wrong time.
Maybe.
But you know, I
Probably
still
not.
yeah. That's the way I took it. I was like, I remember that. I was like, yo, she did just close though. She said, you're late. I remember the teacher said, you're late every day. I said, check your log. Am I late every day? And I wasn't late every day. Because I remember thinking, the class I'm late, don't even mark me late. But you said you didn't have any issues. Did you have any more you wanted to knock on?
That's all I can remember.
All right. Well, I got nothing else for this episode. Which I got?
Yeah, because
we way over our time,
Yeah.
our time frame.
But it's split up, so
Yeah, split up. So y'all can watch the video in two different parts. We actually had a connection error because of me, and that's why she's in charge. Because me and Trina are maturing up.
Yeah.
We're not maturing up. But
don't ask me to be on time.
Yeah, so we got here at the same time. Yo, she be ready at like 5:45.
I know.
She do. Yo, she don't let her show off. She ready at 5:45.
No.
I left the crib at 5:43. That's how. Okay, Trinity was speeding. I was speeding. We should even speed. We should have been here at 5:50 on ready to go. We got all right. Shout out to Ryan. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan for being the leader she's supposed to be.
I
for
do not be on time like that.
No, look, we know better. We know what goes on behind the scenes. All right, but shout out Ryan for letting us use her home.
Absolutely.
We're her lovely home. I ain't gonna tell you where she lives, but
None of your business.
none of your business. But we will say she was a gracious host, and we appreciate it. We appreciate all y'all who've been checking out our podcast. This was episode 3. Next week, should we go into so-called black leaders, or would you like to go into colorism? We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out by Monday. I'll make a post on Monday. Then next Friday we'll be back here, or somewhere else at 6. We'll figure it out as the week goes by. But thank you to all who checked out our episode. We appreciate all the support we've been getting. If you have any feedback for us, please let me know. Please let them know. Share this. We might start a YouTube channel. Shout out to all the other podcasts out there. Shout out to everybody. I want to send a special shout out to Dr. Mitchell. He may not ever see this, but he was one of my college professors, and he took me. He checked. He had my back. He didn't ever mark me after class, even though I never went to class in the morning. I had him twice a day, so he didn't mark me after in the morning, so I got my attendance grade. So shout out to you. But he was just a real cool dude. He got me hit to the world. He got me prepared. We had some great basketball talks, and I just man-to-man talks. So I appreciate you and all my other college professors. We could have got a lot deeper in this, but we didn't want to go into a 3-hour time period. There's so much you can say on this topic.
It really is.
So to those of you leaders in our community, black educators, direct, indirect. We appreciate you for all you've done for us. To parents out there, to anybody who's just taking the time to educate a child and help him or her stay on the same path that they're on, we appreciate you. To all you guidance counselors, whether you're black or white, or whatever you are, we appreciate you for taking us on your way and helping us become the people we are today. We look forward to episode 4. We look forward to seeing everybody next week. Till then, this is a Tribe Called 3, and we are out of here.
Yeah.
Heading with the deuces. God. I should hit end, but I don't.